Ladies and gentlemen, Kimeumana, William Samoei Arap Ruto and his brigades have been denied the permit to use the Nyayo Stadium for their political rally on the 6th of August 2022. That rally is supposed to be their last rally. According to Sports Kenya, the stadium has been booked for peace concert on the 6th and on the 7th. So they received communications today that the stadium will not be available to them. But William Ruto and his team are saying that they booked the stadium much earlier, and therefore they are going to seek legal redress to be allowed to use the stadium. And the question which most Kenyans are asking is, why would William Ruto be denied access or permit to use the stadium? For you to get answer to that, you just need to go back to 2013 and 2017. During those times, Raila Odinga, the NASA brigades were always denied access to use the stadium on the grounds of prayer rallies. Some of those prayer rallies were actually led by Rigathi Gachagwa's wife. This is the message which they received today. Let me just get it from Sports Kenya. Sports Kenya is saying, we refer to your letter reference number UDA ADM 0822 requesting to use the Nyayo National Stadium on 6th August 2022. We regret to inform you that due to peace concert scheduled to take place at both Moi International Stadium, at both Moi International Sports Center Kasarani and Nyayo National Stadium between the 5th and 7th of August 2022, the facility will not be available for your use. Kindly be informed. We highly regret the inconvenience caused. Pius Meto, Director General, and the letter is copied to Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Principal Secretary for Sports, and Charles Waithaka, Chairman, Sports Kenya Board. Effectively, they've been locked out unless they will go to court and seek legal redress. And they are saying that they are going to court because in this video, I want us to look at why, politically, William Ruto and his team are being denied the permit. It's not the first time. Now, Gladys Boss Sholei, who is one of the legal team members of UDA, shared some documents and more information about this particular case. Sholei is saying that on July 12th, Sholei is saying on 12th July, UDA booked and paid 1.5 million for the use of Nyayo Stadium for its last rally scheduled for 6th August. Accordingly, Sports Kenya, the managing authority of Nyayo Stadium, issued the UDA Secretary General Veronica Maina an official contract of hire and receipt after the payment via bank transfer was effected. I'm going to point out something which I've noted in both the documents they have shared. She's continuing. A week later, state capture has swung into action. Sports Kenya now claims that peace concert will take place at both Nyayo and Kasarani stadiums on that day. The not so veiled objective is to lock UDA out of public venues on 6th August. Letting out of public facilities should be used on a first come, first serve basis. In line with Article 232 of the Constitution, requiring transparency and accountability from the public servants. It's continuing. Having already booked and paid for Nyayo Stadium, UDA is entitled to the venue. Sports Kenya is being used by the state when it purports to set up the peace concert to be held simultaneously at the two stadiums. Other days that are not 6th August are available for the contrivance concert. It is not difficult to see the mischief orchestrated by our alarmed and well-known detractors. Criminal and cowardly cancellations shall not cow us. I wish someone like Gladys Sholei would have been bold enough to utter these same words when human waste were littered at Jacaranda's grounds, when NASA was denied the ground. I wish she would have made this statement when Raila Odinga arrived from the United States of America and he was denied access to Uhuru Park and any other stadium. But personally, I would not wish UDA to undergo the same trouble NASA went through in the last election. Now, according to these receipts, and I want you guys to pay very close attention, and that's why personally, I think even the UDA are not honest. Soleil is saying that on the 12th July, UDA booked and paid 1 million, 12th July, for the use of Nyayo Stadium for its rally. And she's saying that accordingly, Sports Kenya issued UDA Secretary General an official contract. Okay. Now let us go to the transfer. According to this transfer, which we learned from Equity, the date here is actually 7th July 2022. Not 12th. Right? Not 12th. That's what I'm seeing here. Equity, the stamp of Equity at the reception was actually on 9th. Just pay close attention. The date of this application of transfer was on 7th. Equity received it, acknowledged receipt at the reception on 9th. Okay, let's not get into those details. Those are not important. What is important is that on that day, Sports Kenya, now the 12th, Sports Kenya signed the contract, which allowed UDA to use the stadium, and also on 12th is the day they received the money. Okay, I don't want to get into details. I want to assume that was the procedure, that first of all they applied for the transfer, it was received on 9th, and then once money reflected, which I'm not so sure, is when they went and paid for the receipts. I don't want to get into that because I want to assume that all these documents are authentic, because in this country, we nowadays have issues with the documents. But let us now look at the politics of this whole thing. Before we do that, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Without the support, the channel cannot be where it is. I want to be very brief. Why do you think the government would deny UDA the use of the stadium? Number one, in my view, is that the peace concert. Number one, in my view, the peace concert is actually the last rally by Azimio One Kenya. Because if you follow these events, Junet Mohammed also claimed that Azimio booked the stadium and will hold their last rally at Nyayo Stadium. So I tend to think that strategically, the government is trying to block Ruto, but allow Azimio to use the stadium. I could be wrong, but I don't know where Raila and his team have planned their last rally. Last rallies are normally very important. If you look at the last election, UDA painted, Jubilee Party painted Nairobi red. All buses from Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri, wherever were in Nairobi. And everybody on that day wore red color. So Nairobi was actually red on that day because politics is a perceptional game. William Ruto, we know, is also planning to paint Nairobi yellow on that day. And this is what these guys don't want. So they want Nairobi to be painted blue on the last rally. So that's number two. I also tend to think that the government is just out to provoke Ruto. Why? Because Ruto is actually a victim of his own. He supported some of these things which are happening to him. And soon you'll start seeing a lot of information and videos coming up of William Ruto defending government actions, especially on Jacaranda, on blocking Raila Odinga. So I tend to think that they just want to provoke Ruto because Ruto is easily provoked so that Ruto can react and say certain things. And hopefully, because those things will be said just a few days to the elections, the mood will be set. So let us wait and see. But I strongly believe that it's about provoking Ruto. Number three, which is also important, the system and the district wants to test the strategy for Ruto as far as demonstrations and resistance is concerned. Can William Ruto forcefully, without going to court, like Raila Odinga used to do, organize a rally in Nairobi and attend? That's one thing they are trying to do. And of course, you remember, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago, when Ruto stormed the Jacaranda grounds with the youths all over? That's the exact thing they want him to do. They want to see his strategy, because that other one, they already identified it. So, and remember, when I analyzed that particular video at that time, I pointed out that the government already understands William Ruto's strategy, the people he contracted to hire those youths, the youths who had the yellow shirts with the fist. So the government just want to test his strategy. Number four, in my view, I think it's about the fight for the crowd. Who can attract the largest crowd? Ultimately, Ruto will be given probably Kasarani. Raila Odinga and his peace concert will be at Nyayo Stadium. You know, the advantage of Nyayo is that it's central. So you can come from Nairobi, from wherever you alight, umefika. For Kasarani, if you are out of Nairobi, it's a bit complex. And again, Nyayo has a smaller capacity, 40,000. Kasarani has 60. So for you to fill 60,000 in that stadium and let people pale chini, it's normally very difficult, especially for photography. So they want to compete for those crowds. So Nyayo is actually an ideal for such kind of political wars. And number five, which is my last point, I also tend to think that they want to try and scare away William Ruto supporters from turning up in large numbers. Remember, when there's this kind of confrontation, like when Raila Odinga was coming from the United States of America, I was there. Majority of the people who managed to walk from the stadium, from airport to town, were majorly men. But those who went to receive him at the airport were mixed, including women. Sadly, most women got tired of the tear gas. They could not sustain the long distances, it was just difficult for most women. So most of them pulled out, went home, but men. So at the end of the day, it's normally the women who attend rallies out of their heart. Men attend rallies just maybe for specific objectives, not unlike women. So I think those are the reasons why Ruto is being blocked from using the stadium. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Let us wait and see what's going to come out of all this. But it's my hope and prayer that they are going to reach at a solution. Either William Ruto is going to change the venue of his rally, or the Sports Kenya are going to allow him. If Nyayo will not be available, we can't have peace concert in 2 stadiums. That's the honest truth. Let him use one, the peace concert one. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Bye-bye.